There. In this video, I'm going to show you how Paidnice can send a variety of different reminders to your clients. So with most accounting software, you can send by default like email reminders to your clients based on the due date, typically. Now, Paidnice, it's no different. In fact, we can kind of put those on supercharge and add way more reminders than you might typically be used to. We could also do a lot more with those same reminders with Paidnice. So yeah, with the emails, we can send normal invoice reminders, before the due date, on the due date, after the due date kind of stuff. We can also send thank you for payment notices as well. So remittances notices, maybe leave us a review notice, all those sorts of things once payments are reconciled or matched. We can also send the invoices to your clients as well. So if you wanted to send them in the future, for example, let's say you wanted to send them a day after, let's say today, then you could send them this way too, especially if you like to maybe upload a lot of invoices in bulk and you want to have this system send them that way, or you just want to have everything. Maybe you upload a bunch of invoices or create a bunch of invoices at night time and you want to send them the next day. We can do that. We'll also do one-off announcements as well, kind of like MailChimp or something similar to this. Now, you can schedule the action time that these go out in terms of ignoring things like weekends, and also make sure that things don't go out during business hours. And we can also do some other cool things as well. So we can also use a custom email domain. So we can have all of your email reminders come from your domain, not Xero's or QuickBooks domain. That it really helps you skip spam filters, but it also helps you understand email deliverability a lot better as well, because you can understand which emails are being opened, which ones are being bounced. In fact, Paidnice will let you know which emails are being bounced as well, so that you will never have another email that bounces. But if you need to we'll let you know which customers need to be updated. And also you can see if they've been opened, if they've been delivered, and if they've been clicked and all that kind of fun stuff as well. Okay, so let's see what that actually looks like inside the app. So inside of Paidnice, once you connect your accounting system into Paidnice, you'll be able to see your org, but you'll start off with your default group. Now you can create many different groups to isolate customers in different workflows for different email things or late fees or discounts or things that you want to send out. Now, with Paidnice, you can send a bunch of different things. So there's different automation policies that we can do. You can do late fees, escalations, quotes, discounts, etc. But in this tutorial, we're going through emails. So we're going to do a variety of different emails. Emails you can do, it's one more button here, but we can do so many different emails. So we can do all of the different ones that I described earlier. So these reminders and things like this. And here's where you can configure it. So you can give it a name. So we could call this one, say, send invoice. And this is basically just going to be one that we want to do when we want to create invoices and we want to send them. And this one we can change this to be like, we want to send that on the issue date. And then we can use the invoice issue template there. So we can select an email template based on what type of reminder, what type of thing this is. You can attach the actual PDF of what the accounting system has created. So what Xero QuickBooks has actually generated of that invoice. You could also include any invoice attachments as well, which can be quite helpful if you attach, work or other things to those invoices inside of your accounting system. We also include a calendar invite to the invite for the due date as well. So sometimes the different email systems can pick that up, pop that on the calendar for you automatically. Now, once you set that up, that's going to be for sending an invoice. We could also do things like, you could create additional filters, right? So only apply this to invoices from this due date or before this due date. We could do things like a minimum amount. So only send this automatically if it's over £5 or $5. Same thing for a maximum amount. We could also exclude specific branding themes inside of your accounting system. We can also do things like exclude particular line items. We can choose the action time, so making sure that this goes at business hours, like say 9 o'clock. We can also do other things like because this is actually sending an invoice, so we do want to mark it as sent in your accounting system, so we can tick to do that too. So we can do a lot of really smart things with these particular reminders. Now you can see this one's in draft mode, which just means that it's going to sit in a queue, in my draft queue here. I haven't got any invoices yet that are ready to go out. But that's essentially it. But if it was in on mode, any invoice I create would now get sent, at 9 o'clock the next day, essentially, or today, or the today at 9 a.m. essentially. If not, then it will happen the next day. Now let's create a new one for, say, maybe one day before the due date. One day before the due date. We're going to go nearly due. Maybe we want to use so we've got a couple of ones here, before due with a forecasted late fee. So if you want to use late fees, we can include a forecast there being like, hey, if you don't pay on time, this is going to be this particular late fee will be applied. And the system automatically calculates that for you. So we can do that. Maybe we want to send that one again at 9 o'clock. Save that there. And then typically you'll see on the right-hand side here, you'll start seeing existing actions starting to pile up, in the draft here. So you can kind of get an idea of what's actually going to be sitting in this queue, and to make sure that it's just like a bit of a litmus test to make sure that that's what you want there. So you can sort of start seeing your policies start to build up here. So like one day before the due date, on the issue date, start to establish itself. And then you can start seeing them sort of build up here in the drafts here. So you can kind of see the different emails. You can click on them, and you can even preview them as well. So you can sort of see what it will look like in here, and then you can let it go now if you'd like, or actually schedule it for the future. So approve that to go out in the future. Now the approval stage is something that is I've got another video on this one, but the approvals is one typically you would use that for. Essentially emails that you don't want to necessarily go out without your manual approval. Probably not something you really care too much about when it comes to reminders. I mean, you might, that's fine. But it might be something that maybe makes more sense for things like late charges or discounts, things like this. Now, at the moment, these reminders are going to everybody in this default group. Now, you can push people into different groups. So I could move this client and move them into a new group. So I could put them into, say, the whitelist group, which was someone that has no policies at all attached to it. And you can kind of see how this sort of works now, right? So you've got a couple of clients in here, more than 9 of them actually, and those clients have received no policy actions. Now, you might, for a situation where maybe you want to send the invoice to some clients, but you actually don't want to send reminders to some clients. How you would do that is you would use tags. So we could create a tag for this client or this one, create a tag and say, reminders, yes, because we want to send them to them, but maybe some of these other ones, no, like these ones don't want to send them reminders for some particular reason. We can add those as a contact tag attached to the policy. Just go down to there and attach them to the yes reminders one. So now only clients that have that particular tag will receive the reminder. Now that's how you do email reminders, and so you can do them. And again, I'm going to open up the other one. So you can do things like choose the weekday as another vector of determining when it goes out. So 3 weekdays before or after the due date. You can also do the issue date as a vector of timing and how to time those. And you can also do the date marked pay as more of a payment email, thank you email, like I described earlier. Now, another thing that you might potentially want to do, which some clients do like to do, is sometimes they like to do a weekly reminder, or a weekly or monthly reminder. Now, we would typically reserve that for a statement, so like an automatic statement. Now we can actually generate the statements and send those to your clients, but in the case where you actually just want to use the statement as a email reminder, so essentially imagine in a situation where you just wanted to send a reminder to your customers every Monday of what they owe you, or maybe you might want to do it at the beginning of every month of what they owe you, right? It's essentially more of a timed reminder against the day of the week or the month. So an example is, let's go weekly invoice reminder, and we can call it that. I'm going to change this to be weekly instead of monthly. We're going to maybe send that on Monday, right? And we're going to send that on Monday at 9 o'clock in the morning. First thing, before they've even had their cup of coffee. Now you can choose a trigger, right? It can be all outstanding items, or it can be all overdue items, or just all items, whichever it may be. You can also attach a statement there, essentially as a summary, which would be quite useful in the situation. But if you don't want to attach a statement, that's also fine. You can just toggle that box off. But then you can see the email template here for outstanding statement, and we've got a template here that you can use, and you can also edit a new one or create a new one to replace in this one. But this one's a little bit tailored towards the statement, but you would edit all of the content to make this be more like a, hey, look, here's your weekly reminder of all the invoices that you owe us. And we can also do some fun things with the merge tags here too. So you could basically include, hey, you owe us a total amount of unpaid invoices. So we've got a total unpaid invoice count merge tag there. So, select reminder, you have X, so we've got 5 overdue invoices. So you can kind of include things like this. We could also include the overdue amount, the actual overdue amount. All of them, oldest overdue. You've got overdue invoices in the 0 to 30-day bucket. So we've got also the age debt bucket analysis breakdown there as well, and a few other really, really smart merge tags that you can use to make this a really, really powerful weekly or monthly reminder or general statement that goes out to the clients. So yeah, so there's a few different things you can do with the invoices, and you can sort of see there it says weekly going out there on the weekly basis. Now, in that same scenario, you also want to set up your email preferences. So this is where you want to set up your customized domain, so your own email domain, to be able to send these from your domain versus our domain or Xero's or QuickBooks. You can do that there. Set that up really simple. It's a few CNAME records, push save, and then it'll be good to go. Pop in your email signature there, so everything comes out of your email, has your email signature and looks like yours. You can make sure that you can edit any of these details here as well. Once you put in your own domain, you're able to edit this no reply address to be yours, so that everything kind of comes out of there. Come to the email templates. We can see everything in here. We can have our invoice issue template and all of that. The other thing that we can do is we can also attach files. As you can sort of see here, I've actually got a file from previously, so you can upload different files into the system, as you can see here. And you can include the files in everything that goes out. So let's say, even a quote is a good example. Let's say if we wanted to send out quotes, you might want to include maybe your payment terms, right, in there. You could include it in your invoices as well. So let's say we go back to our previous one with our invoices. So we want to send an invoice to a client. It includes our payment terms. Save that template. We're going to send that example email to myself now, and then we can have a look what that will look like. Just before while that sends out, we can also see upcoming email reminders as they come out as well. So we can sort of see what they would look like from an actual merge tag perspective in terms of what would come through. Now let's have a look at what it would look like in my email. So the one I just sent before, the little test one, I can see that's like the invoice I just created and sent to myself. I've included it's also included the attachment, the payment terms that I created as well there. So you can sort of see them attached. Here they are, as well as the example invoice as well. So yeah, that's some of the little quirks of what you can do with Paidnice with respect to email reminders. You can really build out as many email reminders as you like, and you can tailor them to as many different parties as you like that to go out to. And then you can also be very granular about how you send them, when you send them, and then and who also receives them as well. So hopefully that was really, really helpful. And if you need any more help, then I'm more than happy to help out. Just message us on hello@paidnice.com, and we'll be more than happy to help with anything you need. Okay, thanks a lot. Ciao.